Hi Ocean Nation, welcome back to another video. I am very excited for today's topic since I'm getting to pay homage and show my appreciation for artists who have inspired me / continue to inspire me to this day. I've selected 5 art styles to replicate from some of my favorite artists, some from my childhood interests and some more recent ones. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. The first artist whose style I will be drawing in is Lauren Faust, the creator of My Little Pony. I'm sure everyone has seen these colorful ponies at least once in their lives. This series had such a grip on me when I was a kid. I loved the characters and story so much. I've had my hand at trying to copy the style, specifically the Equestria Girls ones, since I favored drawing humanoids even at a young age. So I will be drawing a pony and Equestria Girl form of my OC Celine. In my opinion, she really suits the proportions and fashion of the series, so her transition into the style was smoother than some of my later pieces. MLP is known for big stylized eyes, colorful line art, and themed characters. For example, Applejack is a country girl with warm tones inspired by apples, and Rarity is a fashionable diva with cool tones inspired by diamonds. I obviously wanted to make Celine a vampire bat pony, as seen in the show when Fluttershy transforms into one in season 4. I kept her brown and teal color scheme and used it as inspiration for a cutie mark later on, since I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted it to be for the majority of my sketch process. I know a lot of people don't like the proportions of the Equestria Girls characters because of their long ass limbs and big shoes, but I actually really enjoyed incorporating it into Celine's design. I struggled a bit with getting those perfectly smooth lines, so I took some extra time to focus on that since I knew my coloring process would be pretty quick. The good thing about the MLP style is that kids' animations tends to have simpler designs or coloring techniques, usually just going for flat colors with minimal or no shading. The process after lining everything was relatively quick. Making the cutie mark and naming Celine came pretty easily once I gave her a theme. Most ponies have more whimsical names relating to their talents or personalities, so I decided to name her Minty Squeaks, Minty coming from her mint chocolate color palette, and Squeaks coming from her vampire bat side. The MLP style is quite cute, so drawing Celine like this made me very happy. I hope you like how Celine's MLP / Equestria Girls design came out. Personally, I feel like I kinda nailed this one. The next artist is Atsushi Okubo, the manga artist for Soul Eater. This is one of the first animes I watched when I was younger. I really love the aesthetics and characters, and I feel like it has stuck with me throughout the years as one of my favorite series. I decided to specifically replicate the style of the manga covers and official art done by Okubo, since visually they were all interesting to me. I was drawn to the thicker outlines, warm tones, and rendering. I'm sure most, if not all of these covers were done traditionally, so replicating those marker-like strokes and blending was a bit difficult. Unlike the MLP piece, I feel like this sketch and line work were pretty simple, but the coloring took me longer to perfect. As you can see, I selected Indigo to draw in this style. I felt like her clothing aesthetic fit in perfectly with the Soul Eater cast. She and Jasper would obviously be partners, so he became the weapon in this drawing. I went with a mallet style weapon to represent his sense of bringing justice, since he's a detective. One thing I noticed while drawing Indy is that there aren't really any curly haired characters in Soul Eater. Marie was the closest to having any type of waves, so I used her as a reference for Indy's hair. A lot of my process with these art style challenges is just staring at my references constantly as I draw, and it has helped me a lot with not accidentally putting my own style into the pieces too much. Overall, I like how my Soul Eater piece came out. I don't feel like it's an exact replica of Okubo's style. I think his rendering is just so amazing. I feel like I can't do it proper justice. How do you guys think I did? An artist who truly inspires me and changed the trajectory of my art back in 2017 was Jamie Hewlett, most known for his work with the British band Gorillaz. I genuinely have so much love in my heart for this band. Not only is music fire, but the artwork for the albums and music videos is phenomenal. Jamie is such a seasoned artist that this was a bit intimidating. But we must move onwards. This is a challenge after all. I decided to draw my character Asta, who shares a lot of features with Noodle due to being very inspired by her. Noodle is quite literally the blueprint for characters with hair over their eyes. I reference pieces from the Plastic Beach era of Gorillaz artworks, since it's my favorite album and extremely peak. I happen to have Jamie's art book, which features tons and tons of helpful references for me to use. It's hard to describe the style in only a few words, but for me, the sketchy, textured lines, use of hatching, and character posing really stood out. Jamie is fantastic at creating lifelike interactions between characters, and even making the simplest poses visually interesting. Sketching this traditionally and then aligning and coloring digitally really helped it feel less stiff, since I wanted to pose Asta more naturally. I feel like I struggled a bit with this drawing, but surprisingly, it took me the least amount of time. Maybe it's because I drew in this style a lot a few years ago, and I just fully recessed to that time. Next up, we have Hirohiko Araki, the creator of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, a wildly famous and very iconic manga with a unique style. I got into this series around 2020 and spent a lot of my quarantine practicing drawing the characters. This was another series that I felt influenced my style to what it is today. I mean, I still add the little nose hatching Araki does to a lot of my drawings now. JoJo's art style is known for its dynamic poses, colorful palettes, and lots of detailed line work. I decided to draw my JoJo OC Bianca and her stand Plastic Beach. It was an obvious choice, plus, I miss drawing her a lot. After looking up a few different fashion poses on Pinterest, since Araki often takes inspiration for his poses from Vogue, I got to work on my sketch. This process took a while. I wanted to make sure I nailed the pose and anatomy. Getting the proportions for the JoJo style right was important, and I wanted to take my time with it. This piece took me the longest, and it made sense to me. The intricate and stylized way Araki lines and colors took me a bit to get used to. I was looking at a lot of his artwork of Jolene, using it as reference for Bianca's hair, face, and lots of other details in her clothes. This was quite an intimidating piece for me, just like the gorillaz one, but I feel like doing that before this piece helped me learn some techniques I could use again. I hope you can see the time and effort I put into this drawing because it ended up being one of my favorites, though I might be biased because I love Bianca's design. Last but certainly not least is the artist Vivinos, an animator here on YouTube, most known for her series Alien Stage. I've been a fan of her work since the Suki Suki Daisuki video, so I've seen a wide range of her content, from horror to cute animations, and even storytelling with amazing music. I highly suggest checking her out if you haven't already. Her style has big expressions, detailed eyes, usually bright with colored line art in pinks or purples, cel shading, and fashionable clothing on her characters. It features a lot of elements that I would like to incorporate into my own style, so that is why we must study. I decided to self-indulgently draw my Twisted Wonderland OCX canon because I shamelessly wanted to see how Idia Shroud might look in Vivinos' style. So you will be seeing him and my OC Mel on screen right now. I've tried to draw in Vivinos' style before, pretty recently actually, here. It was a redraw your ship as this type thing, albeit heavily referenced. Does it count? Maybe, no, yes. Either way, I'm enthusiastic to be attempting something like this again. Right now, I'm drawing them being very gay and cute. I wanted to nail the expressions and character interactions in my sketch, so I took my time with that. Their outfits are from Pinterest since I wanted to try my hand at drawing them in more casual clothing. Vivinos usually does the same with her characters, and I think it always turns out so cute. I also took some inspiration from this piece of Ivan and Till for the keychain decoration and little star details. When it came to line art, I actually struggled to find a brush similar to the one Vivinos uses. I downloaded like a billion and then ended up just using one of my main ones. I think it turned out a little smoother and less textured than I would have liked. But we win some, we lose some. I could have achieved a more similar look if I did this with my real professional drawing tablet versus my Samsung one with Ibis Paint. That's on me. Even if I didn't achieve the same lines, it's okay, we are here to have fun. The rest of the process was relatively smooth, and coloring and shading were pretty similar to my own way of doing it. I color picked when I was unsure of my own choices, but for the most part I went with my gut instincts. Since her style is already so anime inspired, I felt like I didn't have to change too much about the way I did things. Now that I see this piece with fresh eyes, I can admit it's not a perfect replica of her style. Since it was the last one I did, I could physically feel my creative juices lessening, my hands cramping, and my eyes hurting. Guys, don't follow my bad art habits. I just tend to fixate on completing a drawing once I get to a certain point with it. This piece feels the most mixed with my regular style, but either way, it was really fun to draw Mel and Idia for the 100th time. Wow, I really love them a lot. My sillies. That's the end of this one, folks. It was a bit of a journey with lots of planning behind it, and a total of 5 drawings. Fancy. It took me a bit to get this out because of that, but I hope you enjoyed it either way. Let me know which style you think I replicated the best. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts. And if you'd like me to do another video like this, maybe leave some requests for artists I should cover in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and until the next one, bye Ocean Nation!